Congratulations, Ric Flair, on becoming the undisputed champion of the World Wrestling Federation.
Let me just say, after Vera distorting the belt to proclaim me the real world champion, I'm going to tell you all, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. When you walk around this world and you tell everybody you're number one, the only way you get to stay number one is to be number one. And this is the only title in the wrestling world that makes you number one. When you are the king of the WWF, you rule the world.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
This is the goddamn way going. This is bullshit.
This man!
I now own WCW.
Hello, faces and heels. We're back once again, semi-hungover for another off-script edition of the Tweener Wrestling Podcast.
Yes,
forgot her name.
Almost forgot her name. Yeah, you are hungover. Good lord.
It was a long night.
It was a great night.
Well, the Royal Rumble is coming up, and it looks like Roman might not win for the second straight year, so I might actually be interested in watching it.
Yeah, right? I mean, he's going to be champion, so it doesn't really matter. Whoever wins is going to face him at Mania, you have to think.
True.
With their shitty roster the way it is.
Because it is the Royal Rumble, we were thinking of doing a couple Royal Rumble off-scripts in the months to come, or weeks to come, excuse me. So we started off with a classic, or at least I thought it was a classic.
It was a good Rumble match.
The 1992 Royal Rumble.
Yep.
This is where we play our nice little Rumble music. I gotta actually note that down.
Yep.
Before we get started, I'm gonna plug our social media.
Yeah.
Tweener Podcast on Twitter, tweenerwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. We're also on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube, Tweener Wrestling Podcast. We had actually got some feedback the other day regarding our Money in the Bank 2011 off-script.
Yeah.
Jesse Booth, a good fan of the Tweener Wrestling Podcast,
Plug
actually
this man.
noted that the United Center has almost double the capacity of the Allstate Arena, but for cost efficiency, WWE cut a long-term agreement with the Allstate Arena that still stands. And yes, we here in Chicago are huge heel fans and truly hate Roman Reigns with a serious passion. The only person we boo more than Roman is Cena. Thanks for that, Jesse.
Yeah.
That resolves why they don't go to the United Center. And
It's been a question in my mind for a while, actually.
they've done it once, SummerSlam 1994.
Yeah.
Which, if you can believe it, they did it a week after it opened.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't even finished when they booked it.
Holy shit.
And that sat 23,000 people, which is fucking huge.
That's a lot of people.
Money in the Bank had only just under 15,000. So that answers our question. Thanks for that, Jesse.
Thanks for responding.
Again, if we fuck up or we have a question, send us your thoughts and we'll talk about it on air.
Yep.
Do you want to give us a recap of how the hell we got here in 1992, Garrett?
How long do you want to talk about this?
No, please.
Well, I guess we should talk about the numbers first, eh?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? January 18th, 92? The Knickerbocker Arena. This is my favorite name for an arena I think we've been to.
It's a pretty good one. It's now called the Times Union Center.
Yeah, well, they fucked that up and should have kept it as the Knickerbocker Arena. This was 16,307, which is pretty big for 92, I guess. 260,000 pay-per-view buys.
Not bad.
Not bad, again. Back before the days of the...
Other events, by the way.
Oh, yes.
No Mercy 2000, New Year's Revolution 2006. The Austin Beer Truck segment was in this arena.
Mm-hmm.
The Tag Team Buried Alive match, which was on SmackDown.
Oh, yep.
So if you've noticed, this is an arena where 3 first-time WWE champions have been crowned. Edge, Flair, and who's that other asshole? Kurt Angle. And, interestingly enough, this is the first arena where Edge won the title.
Yep.
This is also the arena where he vacated his final one.
Oh, yeah, this is where he came on and was like, I can't wrestle anymore. My neck is fucked.
Yep.
Yep.
So give us a little recap before we get going.
All right. Well, as we know, prior to the event, the title was vacant. So it was announced that whoever won the Rumble would win the vacant WWF title.
Good deal.
It got stripped from Hulk Hogan, thank God. After two controversial match switches between Hogan and The Undertaker. First at 1991 Survivor Series, and then Tuesday in Texas later. Hogan and Undertaker were among the last 10 entrants because the owner, was it the owner? Not the owner.
Jack Tunney, president.
Jack Tunney, the president of the company, was like, yeah, you'll get a later draw because you guys had the title. Blah, 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 blah.
Nice. Did you know that Jack Tunney was actually president of WWE Canada? And
Really?
He ran the territories up here for a while.
And then into the ground.
And then they got rid of him.
Yeah, so the Royal Rumble match helped begin Sid Justice slow building turn into a villain as well. As we know. As we all know.
Terrible decision.
Sid Justice! Who was returning from a recent injury, entered at number 29, which we'll talk about. He was among the final four, which we'll talk about. Yeah, basically we'll talk about everything that happened with Sid at the Rumble when we get to the match. Monsoon. Oh, interesting. Did you get the original copy or the WWE Network copy?
The WWE Network copy.
Good. Because I don't know. I only read this that apparently, like the newer copies now, you can only if you had like an original tape can you listen to it. But apparently, when Sid came out and did all this stuff, Gorilla Monsoon was like, "Look at Sid! Look at him go!" Like he didn't condemn his actions as a heel. So they're just like. They dubbed over it.
I actually heard that version. Another great podcast that I was just talking to Garrett about, OSW Review, has that clip. So if you want to go check it out, watch their Royal Rumble 1992 recap. It's fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, he's like, oh my God, he's so despicable. Like,
Yeah.
he's a coward. And Heenan's like, oh, I like Sid Justice now.
Yeah. Classic the Brady. Yeah, so... another interesting fact, in his book, To Be the Man, Ric Flair mentions that he didn't know he was going to be winning the Rumble until he arrived at the arena, which is pretty cool.
That's a common thing for them.
Yeah, and also felt he was brought in at number 3 to showcase his skills and endurance. Meanwhile, Bobby Heenan mentioned in his autobiography, Bobby the Brain, that it was his initial suggestion that Flair enter the Rumble at number 1 for dramatic purposes, and that Vince McMahon changed it to 3 and claimed it as his own idea. Evil McMahon.
He does that a lot too.
Evil McMahon.
Bret Hart apparently gave him an idea once. Like he told him the table spot at Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah?
And Vince was like, oh, I'll think about it. And then a week later he called Bret and was like, I got this great idea.
Of course he did. Of course that's what he did. All right, well, that's pretty much the backstory, so we can just launch right into this now.
Alrighty. Din, 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 din. Vince McMahon opens the pay-per-view by introducing all the competitors, and I mean all
30 of them are announced. This is ridiculous.
And he takes the time to destroy his vocal cords with, "It's time to rumble! The Royal Rumble!"
I mean, that is what happened.
And we cut to the pay-per-view. Bobby and Gorilla run down the card, which is an interesting style of doing things.
Yeah.
They note that they have a new Intercontinental Champion in the Mountie.
Oh, God, that was so hilarious.
Immediately, I noticed that someone's ringing a cowbell for the entire night.
Yep.
This crowd is lit. Like, they are amped up.
Yeah, they're ready to go. It's really interesting, though, watching this stuff, because you can see how much has changed or what they had to change, especially coming around, like, 97, 98, when they had to adapt to survive. But, like, there's a lot of really subtle differences between, like, the 2008 and 1992 Rumble, where, like, they kind of, like, well, one, the production value, but they do a lot of things in this one that I like, and a lot of things in the 2008 one that I like that I'm glad they changed.
We'll
But
jump
get
in
there.
and ask
Yeah,
you
we'll
if you
get
got
there.
any thoughts there.
So should we go for the first match?
The first match is the Orient Express, although I suspect one of them is a white guy wearing a mask, versus the New Foundation, which is Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart wearing the high energy pants.
Yeah,
with
the
Coco
Rocket.
Beware.
The Rocket.
I was very excited to see Owen Hart here. Were you as
Everyone's so young. Everyone's so young. Owen Hart's still got like his really pasty, shitty mullet.
He's it's striking when you see Owen here because he's like so much more athletic,
So much young and full of life.
His style is not seen here other than someone like Shawn Michaels, and it's going to be very common for the rest of the new generation here.
Yep.
We start the match jockeying for position with Kato, again, the white guy in the mask. Owen puts him in an armbar, flips off the rope, tags an Anvil, who hip tosses Kato, who tags in Pat Tanaka, which is an interesting name for an Asian guy.
Yes.
Tanaka tries slamming Anvil. Anvil sandbags him. Anvil continuously knocks over Tanaka, who keeps trying to run into him. Anvil tags an Owen, drops an elbow off the top rope. Very nice looking elbow.
Yep.
And hits an enziguri on Tanaka, who turns himself inside out, and he actually lands on his face.
Yeah, right on his face.
After that.
Jesus.
Tagging the Anvil, double clothesline. Owen leaps off the top rope, hits a crossbody on both men. Sweet spot, only 2. They double team Owen Hart for maybe about 10 minutes.
A long time.
It was quite a bit. I actually wrote for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Owen hits the double drop kick. Very Daniel Bryan-esque there.
Yep.
I think a lot of his style is based on Owen.
Based on Owen. Yeah.
Owen tags an Anvil, slingshots Anvil over the top rope. I guess he doesn't slingshot Anvil. Anvil slingshots him over the top rope into both men. Anvil and Owen Irish whip each other repeatedly until Owen has a ton of momentum. And then we get the rocket launcher off the top for the win. Hart, the new foundation win.
Some interesting stuff. There's a really cool spot I like in this match, actually, where Owen Hart gets, like, whipped into the corner turnbuckle, but he gets, like, as if he's going to go shoulder first, but the Orient Express, like, their manager, what the fuck is his
Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji fucking puts his cane up in the corner, and his shoulder goes right through his cane, which is really cool. There's a really funny spot when, like, Bobby the Brain is trying to continuously leave to find out when fucking Flair is going to be coming out in the Rumble. And Gorilla's like, you can't leave here. You're a journalist, aren't you? Like, it's just such a ridiculous... Like,
I'm going to get a hot dog. I'm going to get a hot dog.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, Rocket Launcher gets the win.
It's a good name.
It was a long fucking match. It was like 20 minutes.
I think the beatdown on Owen went a little long. But you got a nice hot tag. The crowd was really into it.
Yeah.
And if Owen and Anvil didn't look like fucking jabronis, I feel like they would be
over more.
Yeah, doing like more.
Yep.
Anything else to say?
Not about that match in particular.
All right, we cut to the Mountie with Jimmy Hart backstage. He's got the title, blah 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 blah. I'm the Mountie. Jimmy Hart's like, I manage the Mountie and I do all this other bullshit.
Yep.
We cut back to Roddy Piper, who
has convinced me here that he's on cocaine. He's just insane.
Do you want to play this? This is a great promo by him on cocaine.
Yep.
Roddy Piper, I can't believe a man, the Mountie, who has held the Intercontinental title for less than 48 hours, can be quite so cocky, quite arrogant.
Well, what we're dealing with is one of the original Village people here, with his mate Jimmy Hart, who keeps kissing the belt, leaving all that lipstick on it. I heard the Mountie out here saying, first thing I'm going to do, pounds his chest, I don't know, Hemi something. First thing I'm going to do, says I'm going to take Piper's integrity. It's like Jacques Cousteau trying to find a dry spot in the ocean. I ain't got no damn integrity. You think I got so far? Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take Roddy Piper's manhood. I come here to fight. I don't know what you come here to do. I come here to win 2 titles. I can't do that till I win the first one. I think you've been dreaming. I think it's been all wet, too.
Oh, on that note, let's get back to ringside.
Piper implies that the Mountie is a homosexual. And then he claims that he's come to win 2 titles.
Yep.
And he can't win the second one until he wins the first. Although, you kind of could. You could lose this match and then win the Rumble, Roddy.
But he wants to win 2 of them.
Which is a cool idea and like a nice little story that they have in the Rumble. It's another little thing where it's not just like, oh, Roman Reigns is going to win the whole thing. Who cares?
Yep.
So Bret Hart lost the title. Interesting story. I've heard about this. That Bret actually was going to take the Intercontinental title and go to WCW.
Really?
Yep.
In 92?
I don't know how true the rumor is, but apparently that's one of the reasons he lost the belt. But
fuck.
But I don't know if that's true or not, and it doesn't sound like something like if they knew Bret was going to do that, I doubt they'd ever give him anything ever again.
Yeah, well, and their story is that he lost it to the Mountie because he was wrestling with a fever of like 104.
Yes, and we actually, I forgot what pay-per-view it was, but I remember one of our pay-per-views had the arena that he lost the title.
Oh, yeah.
That was literally the only event that happened there.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
That was all I said.
It was really funny though because like he's like 104 and the brain's like I wrestled when I had 102 or 12 degree fever and Monsoon's like you idiot would you stop you'd be dead.
Would you stop?
That's so good.
Okay, so we get the awesome. They have this new tracking shot in '92, which we'll see a lot, where the camera kind of like flies up the ramp. Like
Yeah, I like it a lot.
it's so cool. There's a great one at WrestleMania 8. But we get to see like Piper coming out. The camera sprints to him, and he's just chewing gum, smirking. He looks like a boss.
He's being Piper.
Grill notes that Piper can be the first to hold both titles on one night.
Yep.
Warrior already did this a year ago. By the way. Also, it's amazing that only Warrior and Triple H have ever done the IC kind of.
Oh, IC and the title together.
Yeah. I mean, Rollins did it with like, the U.S. title, I guess.
Yeah, he was both.
Piper tosses a kilt in the Mounties' face to start. It comes out like a house of steam. Because Roddy's going to go Broadway in the Rumble, they're going to,
I feel like Roddy Piper kind of looked like Wayne Gretzky at this point in his career. He did. He looked like the young baby face.
He looked fantastic.
Like 82, 83 Wayne Gretzky. I'm going to score 212 points and you're all going to suck my dick because I'm amazing at what I do. Like, I think that's what it is. And he does. He looks amazing here. He looks so good.
You and I both noted that he's got kind of a Dean Ambrose vibe to him.
Yeah, he's very unorthodox and he's like kind of all over the place.
Maybe Ambrose should switch to tights and
The lunatic fringe.
and get the push.
Yeah, go for the show your legs more.
So what's happens? Hot Rod hits a bulldog in the corner. Mountie gets his foot on the ropes, which Piper, like a fucking great tweener, just starts jumping on it and working it over.
Yeah.
Piper starts slapping Mountie in the face. He misses a drop kick. Mountie gets about 2 minutes of offense in the entire match, maybe.
Yep.
Until Piper hits a sunset flip for 2 count. Piper hits an atomic drop to the Mountie. Mountie falls out of the ring, skins the cat. He goes to clothesline Piper, but Piper gets him in the sleeper hold for the 3.
And wins.
I guess he wouldn't get a 3, but he gets the IC title.
Yo, by the way, this is one of the things that I'm like laughing about how different it is from like 92 to then.
Yeah.
Like people are winning matches with DDTs and sleeper holds here. Or like there's always the threat of like an inside cradle roll up. And it's not like he hit him with 8 pedigrees, 2 chairs.
Yeah, it's the Paul Heyman school of booking. Where, remember he was like, you could
sell a finisher as
he wanted Mark Henry to use like an arm or a headlock or something and kill people.
And you just sell it. You could, if you book it up that way, it would work.
Yeah. Piper is super happy. This is actually his first title ever in the WWF. This is a great moment also because when we get to him at WrestleMania 8, it's almost like he's so desperate to keep the title because it's like the only one he's ever won. He's like, he loves it. But
yep.
It's a great story. Do you have anything else there?
Not for that, but I like that thing afterwards where like the Mountie has a shock stick with him.
Oh yeah.
And then Piper like shocks him with it. And my last point is I wonder if Bischoff got the taser idea from this shock stick gimmick.
Scott Hall.
On Goldberg.
Yeah, well the Mountie probably went to fucking WCW and just took it with him. I'm imagining I had something here. What did I think? I guess it doesn't really matter. Meh. That's it. We go backstage with Lord Alfred and Hulk Hogan.
I wrote after that, make sure to take your vitamins, kids.
This promo is fucking amazing because Hulk Hogan is dressing in his own dressing room like a fan. Oh, you know what I was going to tell you? The Mountie couldn't perform here in Canada.
Why?
Because the RCMP was like, no, it's bullshit.
Wow.
You can't impersonate a Mountie. So when he came here, he just was Jack Rizzo.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so back with Hulk Hogan.
Kudos for them for sticking to their guns.
Yeah, fair enough. Hulk Hogan is like, hey, brother, I have no friends. Get the hell out of my dressing room. I'm not even kidding you. He tells Alfred to get out of his dressing room. He's like, Alfred's like, oh, I better leave. And he's like, yeah, you should. Go. What a dick.
What an asshole.
Because you just hear Hulk Hogan off camera be like, get out.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking crazy.
This is a fucking triumph of a match coming up.
This is the worst match I've ever watched.
Mene Gene is with the Bushwackers. I wrote, oh my god, what am I watching? I've heard stories, but I could never imagine how awful
seriously?
this could be.
This is the worst match I've ever watched. And I've suffered through 96 and 97 Raws.
I couldn't think of a worse match than this. Like,
I would rather watch the Nation of Domination versus fucking Gang Wars for another year than watch this match again.
Yeah, at least those matches don't have like this pandering, this
Oh
awful pandering.
my fuck! I think we're just burying this match.
So to start the match, you see like the camera pans to a fan holding a sign that says, "On the 8th day, God created Grill Monsoon."
Yeah, and he's just like, "Oh wow!"
He sees it, but he doesn't read his name on it.
No,
it goes dead. So he's like, "Oh, what did that sign say? On the 8th day, God created something."
Yeah, and he's like slowly marking out.
I was laughing at the idea of someone licking a fan's face in 2016.
I literally said, "This is the worst match in WWF history."
You wrote that beforehand, Jesus.
Yeah.
10 minutes of the match. Okay. So these assholes don't actually do anything.
No.
They just constantly toss the Beverly brothers, or they chase them out of the ring, and then they do the fucking
yeah, they're fucking bushwhacker march
We're
around.
both doing the stupid arms. Heenan is begging Grill at this point to go back and check on Flair, probably because he doesn't want to watch this match or call it.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I'm sure that at this point, Grill was like, "Oh, you gotta take me with you."
I was like, how the hell are these guys so over?
They go for literally about 10 minutes of pandering.
Yep.
They're over as fuck.
I don't understand.
They're not interesting. This is the sort of shit you do on a house show.
Yep.
Boring.
I laughed because I thought that Dave Grohl was the in-ring persona of the Genius. Kind of looked like Dave Grohl.
You know what the Genius is?
No.
Macho Man's brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. The audible boos as the Bushwackers do the bounce around the ring for the fucking third time.
Yep.
Bobby Heenan says that Jameson needs to be put to sleep, which makes me laugh.
Literally kill a man.
So Jameson is this like really awful Jewish stereotype.
Oh, it's so bad.
And he's like, "Ow, I'm gonna get those goddamn Beverly brothers.
Stop cheating!" They're fucking horrible. He's horrible.
Highlight of the match is when Jameson or Genius just walks over to Jameson and slaps him in the face.
Across the face.
And Heenan's like, "All right, didn't hit him hard enough." This is the worst Heenan impersonation ever.
Yeah, he didn't hit him hard enough.
He's still breathing.
It's so
Jameson, "Ow, he hitted me.
He hitted me." Oh, it's so bad.
Double axe handle off the top rope by the Beverly Brothers for the win. Thank Christ.
My last point is I don't have anything else to say about this.
After the match, the Bushwhackers attack the winners like good faces. Lots of good face antics tonight. And they hold the Genius for Jameson to fucking take 5 minutes to come into the ring and slap him.
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
worst match I've ever seen.
It's the worst.
Anything else there? Nothing?
Nope.
Backstage, it's your favorites.
Fuck.
They are still here.
There's no escape for me of getting rid of these fucking LODs.
The LOD, or the OLD, has the New Age Outlaws.
The OLD, yeah.
Had a great promo. Better than their usual stuff. I liked it.
It's 92. I expect them to be better than they are in 98.
They say that the natural disasters like to throw their weight around. Well, the LOD like to throw their weight around too.
Oh, God.
All right. The Legion of Doom versus Natural Disasters is our next match.
Yep. My first point is it doesn't matter what pay-per-view I watch, there's no escaping the Legion of Doom.
These natural disasters are fucking huge.
They're fucking massive.
They're big guys.
Fucking Earthquake.
I wonder how big Earthquake was. Jesus.
Yeah.
The match starts with both teams jockeying for position.
Yep.
I like to use that term apparently. Stalling like last match, but it's cool to see because they're actually kind of like, you know.
I like that. I like how many times in this match the brain suggests that guys get sent to the electric chair. He like says it like 4 times. He's like, "Oh, well, they should just hook him up and then just shock him again."
That's why I'm talking about Jameson.
Yeah,
Hawk gets a drop kick, but it doesn't actually knock Earthquake over. Earthquake goes for a drop kick too.
I know.
Oh shit!
And like the good LOD, it's no sold.
It's like the Big Show hitting one.
Yep.
Jesus. Hawk comes in to fuck shit up. He and Earthquake both double chokes, clothesline each other in a cool spot. Animal actually lifts Quake, but he falls on him.
Yep.
Quake beats down Hawk, steps on him repeatedly, puts him in the bear hug. In the middle of this segment, you can hear Heenan trying to talk to some random fan. And it's like, "Go backstage and get Flair's number. I'll give you $3." And Monsoon gets security to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Hot tag to Animal, double clothesline to both Disasters, brawl outside. Disasters win by count out. Like shitheads, they grab the belts and they're like, "Yeah!" Hawk comes in and like taps them with a chair. I've never seen a chair shot so light.
Until 1997 when he does it again.
Animal comes in and just fucking smokes Earthquake with a chair to make up for it.
Thank God.
Anything else? Nothing there?
No, I hope not.
Oh, okay.
I hope not.
These idiots go backstage. They bitch about not winning the titles. I'm like, bro, it was a count out. Like, you need to read the rule book.
We won. Like, no, you didn't. It's a count out.
This is a never-ending series of interviews. So we go back with Piper, and Piper's like, I'm going to have everyone falling down like President Bush. Back to Sean Mooney. Interesting segment with Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
We're actually only 1 week removed.
1 week away, past from the explosion
of the Rockers,
where he throws Marty Jannetty and his entire career through a window.
You should just throw him in a garbage can or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Throw him in a fucking grave. Buried his career.
Which is a great segment. People actually think that HBK super kicked him to the window, but...
No, he super kicked him, then threw him through the window.
Which is a great segment. HBK says he saved Jannetty from 29 other beatings.
Yeah.
His catchphrase at the time is, I've got news for you.
Yeah. No,
I don't think so.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
Back to Lord Alfred. Sorry, another interview segment. Ric Flair. This is a Coliseum Home exclusive.
Yep.
Rick tells Alfred that he drew number 3, and he's guaranteed to spend an hour in the match, but he doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
Because he told everyone that he listened to the Be the Man, now he has to prove it.
Yep. He tells us that because he's a Flair, he's already better than everyone, but now he needs the belt to prove it.
It's true. We get interviews with, and stop me when one of these things does not sound like the others, Macho Man, Sid, Repo Man.
Stop! I said the same thing. I'm like, why the fuck is Repo Man here?
British Bulldog, Jake Roberts, Ric Flair, Undertaker, and Hulk Hogan.
Again, listen to all those names and then throw in Repo Man.
It's bullshit.
It's just bullshit. It's so bad. It should never have happened. All of the other promos are really good though. They're all really good.
Yeah.
Undertaker cuts a great one where like Paul Bearer starts and he's like, and Paul Bearer's like 29 other caskets and like all this shit, and then like Undertaker's like, and atop the carnage, and it's like it's so good.
We can actually play this,
yeah,
because we got nothing else.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Today we find out who's the fairest of them all. We're at the Royal Rumble, and 30 of the greatest World Wrestling Federation superstars gather today to find out who is the man. For 4 months, I've called myself the real world champion. So for me, there's no back door. But remember, boys, and that's to all 29 of you, I've lived one way. And one way only, and that's with the belief to be the man, you have to beat the man. And today, at the Royal Rumble, I am the man. Woo!
Oh, what a busy afternoon is going to be at my funeral parlor. 29 hearses have already been prepared. 29 bodies, 29 caskets.
Standing atop this mass carnage will be the Undertaker, crowned once more World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion.
You know something, Hulkamaniacs? Later on this afternoon, we get to prove a point that no one else could prove except us, man. In one given afternoon, we're gonna prove to the whole world the power of Hulkamania. We're gonna prove that we can beat all 29 other superstars in the World Wrestling Federation to get our WWF title back. Oh yeah, winning the Royal Rumble is one thing, the most prestigious event in the WWF. But when you add the WWF title on top of that, that changes the whole picture, man. But Hulkamaniacs, this is our cup of tea. They're gonna be coming from all different directions, friend or foe, they're all the same in the Rumble. But it's just like always, we're always getting cheap-shotted by one of our so-called friends, or we're always getting cheap-shotted by that no-good Jack Tunney. But this is our cup of tea. And in the Royal Rumble, we're going to prove that Hulkamania reigns supreme. But to all those people in Titan Tower, in the WWF offices, don't worry about The Undertaker or Jake the Snake stealing that belt, man. Me and my little Hulksters have a special battle plan for the Royal Rumble. And what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and his little Hulksters rumble all over you?
Yeah, that one's really good. And like, there's a lot of other ones. Like Hogan does his usual Hogan shit. Like, we got a surprise for the brothers. And then like,
I gotta get my title back.
Jake the Snake cuts a great one by being like, I haven't always done what I you can't always get what you want. He's like, but I got what I need. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so good.
He's so fucking
He's
evil.
so evil. Who else? Well, the Macho Man. Yeah. He does his... He does,
Been to the top before.
yeah, he's doing 2 things tonight. Yeah, it's so good. Jake the Snake Roberts. Oh, yeah.
I'm a little upset that Bret isn't on this pay-per-view because I like watching Bret and... Oh, well.
Back when he was still super over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically we have a whole shitload of promos before the Royal Rumble match starts. And then we'll launch into it.
Rumble time. Just a quick
Thank
note.
God for this match.
My fucking notes deleted after episode or entrant like 13 or 14, so I actually had to redo them all. Fucking bullshit.
This is bullshit.
It's bullshit. Bobby Heenan is shitting himself in anticipation.
Yep.
Howard Finkel is awesome, as you
Howard Finkel is the greatest. My first point is I don't think Howard Finkel has changed his pre-speech for 20 years. It's always the same and it's always great.
The entrant who drew number 1.
Number 2.
Well, okay, so starting off the match is number 1. Just a quick note here, Garrett. There are 15 Hall of Famers in this Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there are.
And that's not
Half
even
of
counting
them.
like people who could be like Undertaker, Sid,
Yep,
Boss Man.
half of them are in there.
I will count them all as they come out. Number 1 is the Bulldog.
Wait,
He's not a Hall of Famer.
the greatest thing about before the match is
sir.
that Tunney comes out and almost fucks up and calls it a battle royale. He goes, "May the best in this Rumble match," and he's about to call it like he's like in this, but and then stops and goes Royal Rumble. But yeah, then he
is
says,
probably
"May the
the
best
big-
man win." Yeah, British Bull. I did my first point. The British Bulldog, yeah.
He's gonna win the Rumble.
The British Bulldog, yeah.
This is Bulldog actually has terrible luck in drawing because he's done 2 in 1995 as well, and this is his number 1. He's juiced as fuck.
Yes, he's fucking huge.
It's awesome. This is one of his biggest years actually, where he has that Wembley win.
Yep.
In front of 80,000.
Just before this, actually.
Yeah. And then he's immediately fired for doing steroids. Number 2 is Ted DiBiase, who was our first Hall of Famer in the ring.
Oh, by the way, great theme. Everybody's got a price. Oh, it's so good. He comes out with Sherry, right? Yeah.
Who's going to join Shawn Michaelson.
Yep.
Hall of Famer number 2 enters at number 3. It's Ric Flair. Woo! Fucking Heenan.
Heenan has cardiac arrest.
Oh my God.
This is horrible.
And Monsoon is actually gloating.
He's gloating.
And
Yep.
he's like, no one's ever won from...
Between the numbers 1 and 5. And I said, what happens in 1995, though?
This is such a... Okay, so at this time, the earliest winner was 13.
Yep.
So no one has won between number 1 and 12.
or 12.
And I looked it up. It's not like... Okay, some people were there at the end, which is what Monsoon says. He's just 1 through 5. No one's ever won. Okay.
All right.
Also 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 haven't won.
Yep.
Bro. Gorilla has like a huge laugh though. He's like, you can kiss your ass goodbye, Heenan.
Yep. See you later, Heenan.
Bulldog power presses Ric Flair over his head repeatedly. Holy shit! You see that spot? It's like the Warrior.
Yeah, he's the.
I wrote steroids. Holy shit!
Holy shit!
Bulldog bumps Flair all over the ring. Flair's actually doing some good selling for this guy.
Yep.
Number 4 is Nasty Boy Sags.
Yeah.
He's really skinny at this time.
He is. He's very skinny.
The 2 heels double team the Bulldog.
He temporarily saves Flair, yeah.
But he clotheslines both men and drop kicks Sags out, so we get our Bulldog versus Flair again.
Yep.
Number 5 is Haku, which
without his fucking huge afro.
Makes me think of 2001.
Yep.
Where he jumped and no one knew who the hell he was.
Yep.
Flair starts laying into Haku until Haku no-sells and chases him out.
By the way, Haku came out to replace Brian Knobbs, who separated his shoulder, so they had to throw somebody in like a week before.
Terrible options.
Yep.
He's apparently super tough and ripped someone's tooth out in a bar fight.
Unsurprising. That guy's fucking huge.
You don't fuck with Haku.
You don't fuck with Haku.
He actually gets a ton of offense on Bulldog and Flair, but Bulldog eventually tosses him out.
Yep.
Number 6, this is Hall of Famer number 3, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels debuts as a heel.
HBK starts taking it to the man who he will retire in 16 years.
Yep. I said, man, Davey Boy is massive as fuck. He's Vince's ideal wrestler.
I'm telling you, man, he is like he's fired for using steroids in 1992. That tells you something.
Yeah, that's insane.
He hits a really bad switch of music. He can't seem to hit it all.
Yeah, it's not good.
Gorilla calls it a crescent kick, so I don't think it's a finisher yet.
Yep.
Sean is botching up a storm tonight.
Yeah.
Entrant number 7, El Matador, Tito Santana.
Tito Santana.
Hall of Famer number 4, if you can believe it.
Yep.
They team up in face and heel teams. Number 8, Barbarian. What a roid monster.
Fucking Flair looks really good here, though.
Yeah.
Already he looks good.
Yes, the whole point. I think it would have been better if Flair came from 1. Like 3's a little. It's fine. It's just maybe it was more plausible if he won it from 3 than 1. But
Yep.
I also think Bulldog is looking great here.
He is. He's looking really good.
Okay, so number 9 is the Texas
Tornado.
Hall of Famer number 5. He's missing a foot. Did you know that?
Yeah, but I can't believe he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, with the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
He clotheslines the hell out of everyone. He kind of looks like a capable Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, he does an amazing. Ric Flair does an amazing stage dive after he gets clotheslined in the corner.
Oh, the flop?
He walks out and then just does a great flop into the middle of the ring. The crowd loves it.
I love the flop. Santana stomps Flair on the apron while everyone's trying to push out the British Bulldog.
Yep.
It's your boy, number 10.
Repo Man.
The Repo
I used to love this guy when I was a kid.
He looks like a fucking cat burglar
That's
from
the
The
whole
Sims.
point. That's the whole point. It's great. I like how he comes out in full gimmick mode though. He comes out and he's sneaking around the ring, doesn't want to get involved. He didn't actually praise him for it. He's like, yeah, why get in there early? You've got a long way to go.
The Repo Man was previously Demolition Axe or Smash is one of them.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, it's nothing exciting there. 11 is Greg Hammer Valentine. He's a Hall of Famer number 6.
He goes for Flair out of jealousy because he's a poor man's Ric Flair.
He number 12 is Nikolai Volkov, who's Hall of Famer number 7.
Yep. Before that, right before Volkov comes out, Ric Flair has a great spot where he's by the ropes and he rakes somebody's eye, and Repo Man tries to come up behind him. So while he's raking the one guy's eyes, he low blows Repo Man behind him at the same time. The dirtiest player in the... I just like JR. Dirtiest player in the game!
This is where my notes actually cut off, so I get to redo them.
Oh, good lord.
I'm very disappointed in having to redo them. I was quite happy with them. Number 13 is Big Boss Man. He tosses Valentine and Repo like the jobbers they are.
Volkov actually subbed in for Jannetty in storyline as well. That's why he was there.
Because
he got thrown through a fucking window.
And has major drug issues.
Yep.
14 is Hercules. He's been around forever, by the way. He was at WrestleMania 3. Eventually, the ring empties with just Flair and Bossman facing off. Bossman's like, oh, hell no, you haven't thrown me out yet, son.
Yeah, Bossman just came into the ring and started the rapid fire eliminations halfway through.
Bossman eliminates himself, but unlike Macho Man later, he's not allowed back in.
Yep.
Flair
Flair
does the fucking
flop again.
Which is amazing. This is literally one of my favorite moments in the match. Number 50, Roddy Piper.
Oh, God. Yeah.
A huge pop, and Flair's like, oh, God.
Oh, God. No. Yep.
He begs off. Roddy's like, I'm coming for your ass. He airplane spins the fuck out of Flair.
Yeah, and then puts a sleeper on him.
Oh, and puts him out.
And fucking Bobby the Brain is losing his fucking mind. He's like, oh, no!
Number 16, trust me, it's Jake Roberts.
Evil Jake
Roberts. Jake Roberts is actually going to be leaving in a few months.
Yep.
And he's going to hold the WWE up for lots of money and get fucked over in the end. He sits in the corner like Bray Wyatt and just is like, yeah, you can keep beating up Flair if you want, Piper. And then as soon as Piper turns around, he's like, yeah, and attacks him. He helps out Flair, but attacks him too.
Yep.
These three have a fucking great little triple threat.
Yep.
There's a spot where Piper is, Roberts goes for the DDT and Piper clotheslines him. Anything else to add here?
Yeah, then Flair puts the figure 4 on him. When it's all said and done.
Oh, God. This was also, there's a funny Peenan spot here where he's like, when Piper saves Flair from the DDT, he's like, I love you, Piper. That's not a skirt. That's a kilt.
That's a kilt. And then he attacks him a minute later. He's like, that's not a kilt, it's a skirt. He's so mad.
Where else are we?
Oh,
fucking it. Jim Duggan, who is a Hall of Famer number 10, comes out to ruin my enjoyment of these three talents. I fucking hate Hacksaw.
He comes out, there's a USA chant, he's fucking, goddamn. I don't know why Hacksaw Jim Duggan is so beloved.
He's such a shithead.
Somebody tell me why.
I got nothing really to note here. Moving on to IRS. 18.
Erwin R. Scheister.
And
he walks so slow to the ring that number 19 is coming in as he gets into the ring.
Well, I noticed watching these two Rumbles that the clock is just bullshit.
Oh, it absolutely is.
People will come out whenever.
Yep.
Certain spots, they'll be like, oh, okay, just send someone out. 19 is future death row inmate.
Superfly. Nice, well played, by the way.
Notorious serial killer Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
That's kind of insane, actually.
Fucking killed someone.
I know.
He's Hall of Famer number 11 for now.
For now, till name redacted.
Until we had Chris Benoit. Jesus.
Yep.
He comes out, doesn't really do anything.
Yep.
Finally, number 20 is The Undertaker.
Which is a shitty fucking draw saying you get between 20 and 30.
Which Gorilla points out, which I like.
Yep.
Undertaker takes forever to get to the ring. And
see you later, Snooker immediately gets eliminated by Taker.
Snooker was actually the first on the streak. And Roberts will be this year's streak victim. Flair immediately attacks him, which Heenan is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you going after the Undertaker?
You just rest, goddammit.
The Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
He bursts in. He's Hall of Famer.
The fucking crowd goes apeshit.
Hall of Famer 12. He immediately goes to the Snake Man.
Yep.
He even chases him over the top
rope. Top rope. Oh, yeah.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and then he jumps over the top rope, and Heenan's like, he's eliminated.
Yeah, everyone's like, what are we supposed to do? Undertaker, who has only been there for about a year, is smart enough to just go outside immediately and throw him back in.
Yeah.
Even though Macho Man's like, I'm going to go out again, and Undertaker's like, get fucking back in here.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Like, he must have just been in like the heat of the moment or something when he did it.
He's crazy.
He's fucking insane. That's why his promos are so good.
It's my boy, the Berserker, is number 22.
They make a great point there where like the Berserker comes out and this match is his specialty because he throws guys over the top rope and gets count out victories.
You gotta get those count out victories.
Yeah, how many titles did that guy win?
The Berserker was undefeated, but he could never win the title. Number 23 is Virgil, who I fucking hate. Less said, the better.
He immediately feuds with IRS, though.
There was a great moment on Twitter recently where Virgil was like, at CM Punk, he's like, hey, I did an AMA recently on Reddit. Like, you should listen, you should read mine. And CM Punk's like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yo, Virgil's a fucking idiot. Yo, like in real life, he's the guy that like people go to get autographs and shit. He's like, hey, you want these? By the way, $20. And you're like, what are you doing, man?
He's a fucking carny.
He's a fucking carny.
Yeah. Iron Sheik. It was Hall of Famer number 13.
Yep.
A.k.a. Colonel Mustafa.
Colonel Mustafa.
At this point. Anything here?
He's 24. The end.
All right. Number 25.
Rick Martel.
Is Rick Martel, who actually had the
record. Yeah.
longevity record.
Yep. He had, what would they say it was at?
50-something.
52 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
Or 50 minutes, and then Flair's just forget about it.
He actually goes after Flair, who's closing in on his record.
Yep.
I think Rick Martel and Flair actually had like history in NWA too.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of these guys did.
Yeah,
Terry Von Erich, they all like did the circuit with Flair in the NWA.
Yep.
Finally, we get a Hulk Hogan match.
Ooh. Name redacted
on our podcast. We haven't done Hulk Hogan yet.
Name redacted.
Hall of Famer number 14.
Yep.
He arrives.
He blows the goddamn roof off the place.
His 10 minutes of work. Does this motherfucker ever get like an early draw in the Rumble?
No.
I swear he always does 29 or 30 or 27.
He eliminates 2 guys immediately, including the Undertaker.
Dick.
Fucking asshole.
He rips his shirt. I mark. The shirt stays in the ring and is repeatedly used to choke people
out. Yeah.
So it's like, move that shit out of the way.
Yep.
Hacksaw and Virgil fall out of the ring.
Eliminate each other as 27 Skinner comes to the ring.
Skinner? Skinner looks like a Luke Gallows cosplayer.
He does.
And he has no business being in the ring with
all these fucking guys.
Let alone attacking Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Former WWE champion, Sergeant Slaughter, number 28. And our last Hall of Famer 15.
Yep.
He comes out. Piper and Hogan actually start like brawling, which I thought was cool.
Yep.
To see faces and heels do that sort of thing, or faces and faces. It's the master and the ruler. The world!
Yeah, fucking Sid Justice.
Sid Justice, what a name.
Comes out 29.
He comes out, number 30 is the Warlord.
But he's garbage.
Yeah.
And Harvey Whippleman comes out with him.
The final 4. Sorry, we're just skipping ahead here unless you got anything.
Savage, Hogan, Flair, and Sid.
And all 4 are going to be part of the Double Mania 8 main events.
Yep.
For some strange reason, they don't do Hogan and Flair. They do Hogan and Sid and Flair and Savage. Savage gets dumped by Sid and Flair. And as Hogan and Flair are wrestling, Sid dumps Hogan from behind.
Like a fucking genius.
Which gets a big pop.
Yep, people love it.
Only Hogan, like a bitch, grabs Sid from the outside and Monster's like, oh, he's saying you stole my title. It's not your title, bro.
Yeah, how can you say you stole my title when you don't have the title?
He fucking pulls Sid out from behind. What a fucking bitch.
Yep.
Flair wins the title and the 1992 Rumble as a result.
And looked like a fucking $1 million.
And then Heenan's like, thank you.
Bobby the Brain Heenan, by the way, single-handedly starts the Yes movement. Because as soon as he wins, it's yes for like 20 minutes.
He doesn't get to celebrate. Hogan fucking runs him out of the ring like a dick.
Yep.
Sid comes back and slaps Hogan on the back of the head, which I laughed at. And is like, what the fuck is your problem, you asshole?
Yep.
As they're dragging Sid away, he goes, I'll kill you! Which made me laugh.
Yep.
And
he'd do it too.
Backstage with Flair, well, probably safety scissors or squeegee.
Yeah.
Backstage with Flair and company, Flair cuts an amazing promo that you heard at the beginning of the podcast.
Yep.
He talks about how he's the man now and tells Sid, Hogan, Piper, and Savage to pay homage to the man.
To the man.
And Mene Gene screams at someone for smoking.
Put that cigarette out.
Ric Flair, you have made world. Put that cigarette out. You have made.
And that was the 1992 Royal Rumble, and we wrapped that up pretty quickly.
Yep.
Jesus.
The other thing too is you were telling me earlier that Vince hated that Flair promo.
So I've heard.
How can you dislike that promo?
I don't know.
He put the company over. He put himself over. He put the belt over. He fucking got me to mark, and I'm not even a big Flair fan.
He's like, I won so many titles, but this is like the most important one.
This is the greatest day in my life.
This is the greatest moment of my life.
So good.
So he's the champ now.
Yep.
And it looks like it would be Hogan and Sid at Mania. But what about Flair? Who's going to face Flair?
Oh.
We might have to come back to that for around WrestleMania season. WrestleMania 8.
Yep.
Anything else?
I just got the aftermath after it's all done.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we were talking about, confrontation between Hogan and Justice played out for quite a while. It was all over the place. Yeah. What the fuck?
Were you wasting when you wrote this?
That's right, I was. Yeah, on the Superstars program on the January 25th, Tunney says he had a press conference where he said Hogan would face Flair at WrestleMania 8. Justice, who was also in attendance, began standing up.
It's amazing.
As if Tunney was about to proclaim him the top contender, was outraged and termed the announcement the most bogus act Jack Tunney has ever pulled off.
It's so funny. He's like, they're all sitting in a fucking like a press conference. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
And he's like, shit! And he's trying to crumple this piece of paper, but he can't. Or like,
it's so funny. Sid later apologized. Hogan accepted, but on the February 8th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, Justice abandoned Hogan during a tag team match against Flair and The Undertaker, completing his heel turn and leading to a match at WrestleMania 8.
And he kicks out of the fucking leg drop at WrestleMania 8.
Yes, he does.
Because the goddamn Godfather misses his cue.
Thank God. And Flair, meanwhile, began feuding with Savage over the title.
And Elizabeth.
According to the storyline, Flair claimed that he had a previous relationship with Savage's wife, Miss Elizabeth.
Great story.
Going as far as presenting pictures of Elizabeth in which Flair had himself superimposed. This culminated in a title match at WrestleMania 8. Savage won, obviously. And that was his second title reign.
It was a great match.
Yep.
We'll have to get there someday.
Yep.
I don't know if we really need to do your favorite segment or mine. It was clearly
the Rumble. It's clearly the Rumble match. The worst segment is obviously the Bushwackers match because it can't even be called that.
I thought Hogan just was weird in this. I don't know why they booked that way. They could have had it fucking Sid get rid of Hogan in like a more disingenuous way if they wanted to go that route.
Like justify some anger.
Yeah, like he could have double teamed with.
Hogan did that to everyone.
Yeah.
He fucking did it the same way in the Rumble, and he would not even think twice about it.
He did it to Warrior and Savage too.
Such a fucking asshole.
Not as bad as World War III in '95 when he's like, I didn't actually get eliminated. That's my belt to Savage. And Savage like,
what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Yeah, I gave this pay-per-view a 20.5 out of 30. Mostly because of the main event.
That's not bad.
I gave the main event 8 out of 10. I gave the overall card a 5 because of both sides, right? And I gave the atmosphere a 7.5 out of 10 because the crowd was fucking lit, as we said.
Nice. That's so that's pretty much everything from that pay-per-view. If you have any thoughts on this episode or any corrections,
email us.
Get us on Twitter at Tweener Podcast or via email, Tweener Wrestling Podcast. We're also on Facebook. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube to Tweener Wrestling Podcast.
And I think we're going out with the Trust Me, Jake the Snake Roberts theme. I think so.
It's not a bad choice.
Trust me.
Or no, it's too late to change.
It's too late. We can't come too far.
All right. Well, we'll get Piper's in some other day.
Yep. Until next time, I guess.
Take it easy.
See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Do you trust me? Trust me.